Hi, gang. It's Patrick.
And Adam.
Coming up on today's episode, we read some listener feedback and give our spin on the angry mom rant. We cover the latest Disney news, and we interview Broadway husbands Bret and Stephen Hanna in the latest installment of our Creators and Influencers series. As always, we close out the show with some quick D. All that and more on today's episode of Gays Do the D.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Adam Bellatrix Hummel.
Hey there, Patrick Virginia Kazuki.
Virginia? Meet Virginia.
No.
You don't love Train? What do you mean?
I don't love Train.
Who doesn't love Train?
Me.
Okay.
Me. I don't love Train. What a negative way to start this episode, but I don't love Train. Sorry, Train.
Good morning to ya. All right. How's it going, sir?
Fabulous. How are you?
I'm great. How was your week?
It was fantastic.
Yeah?
You know, I woke up bright and early this morning because we have our Disneyland Gay Days trip coming up in 60 days, Patrick.
Uh-huh.
And so I popped on the computer and I was going to make us a Phantasmic dining package reservation for that first night we were there.
Yes.
And then I realized, oh yeah, it's fall and Phantasmic doesn't run every night.
Oh no.
In Disneyland. And also Disneyland's schedule really kind of gets very lax during the fall season.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to tell you, on the website right now, none of September has any availability. Just like there's nothing even coming up as like an option. Like they haven't even just released the dates yet.
Interesting.
And as well as October. So it's just like they run on a different schedule out there.
Okay. Well, we'll play it fast and loose.
Oh, we'll definitely get a reservation. Don't you worry.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Yeah, I'll be watching that like a hawk. As soon as they release those dates, I'm all over it.
Got it. There's something you should know about Adam is that if you give him a task, it will get done or someone will be murdered. Or they'll lose their job.
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse might be unemployed.
Scary.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Adam, I have to say, we have a very exciting episode today.
We sure do.
We scored a wonderful interview with the Broadway husbands from Instagram.
Those guys.
Bret and Stephen.
Those delightful fellows.
Charming as the day is long.
They sure are.
It was such a great interview. I can't wait for our listeners to hear it.
Yes, they had some wonderful things to say about the Disney parks.
Yeah.
Disney on Broadway. Disney bounding.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys are all over Disney.
Yeah, it was a super fun interview. We hope we can have them back again.
Absolutely.
Some more exciting news, Adam.
What's that?
We have another new patron on our Patreon page.
Get right out of here, Patrick.
I can't because I am hooked into this headphone and microphone situation.
Yeah, it's like Flight of Passage. You are locked in.
It would be a slow getaway. Plus, I'd have to grab my clothes on the way out.
Right, that's always awkward.
It's true. No, we have a new patron. His name is Daniel. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Daniel. I think I know who you are, Daniel.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Not my husband, Daniel.
No, I think he's a frequent commenter on the podcast, I bet.
My husband gives us nothing.
He contributes nothing to this podcast, except emotional support.
Well...
Yeah, and even then.
Even then.
Yeah. We also have a new listener, Patrick.
We do.
Eric. Eric emailed us at info@gaysdothed.com and said, I recently found your podcast and am enjoying working through, Patrick.
I mean, it's a job.
It is a slog. Working through the recent and earlier episodes. You may have announced something somewhere, but I was wondering if you ever worked out any meetups while you guys are in Disney World for Gay Days.
Ooh.
And we had mentioned doing something possibly several episodes ago.
We did. I think this time around, as per usual, we're kind of playing it fast and loose.
Yeah.
However, we are following the Gay Day schedule. Is that right?
That's right. So Thursday, I will be in Animal Kingdom. And Friday, Patrick, you arrive and we'll be in Disney's Hollywood Studios.
That's right.
And Saturday, we'll both be at the Magic Kingdom. And then probably that evening, we'll be cutting out and going to Epcot to watch Illuminations, it sounds like.
Yeah, it'll be your very last chance to see it because you're leaving the next day.
That's right.
And then I will be likely in Epcot on Sunday. I'll be in Hollywood Studios for a little bit because I'm going to Galaxy's Edge.
Right. So exciting.
Yeah, and then I might try to see Illuminations that last Sunday night as well, just to get one more peek at it.
Sure.
But who can say? I think that last Sunday, I'll be all over the map.
Sure. But we can definitely say, for the most part, in the mornings and early afternoons, we'll be following the Gay Days Parks schedule.
Exactly.
So if you happen to be in the parks those days, feel free to DM us at GDTD Podcast on Instagram, and we will find you and grab a picture and give you the cutest Gays Do the D button you ever did see.
I love them so much.
We also had some feedback on last week's feature segment regarding how to beat the heat in Walt Disney World.
We sure did.
Kristen, who you can find on Instagram at Kristen_Enchanted, said, buy a handheld fan that has a USB port. That way, if you need to, you can recharge in the park with a fuel rod. It's a lifesaver.
Super smart.
That is a very clever tip, Kristen.
And environmentally friendly because you're not using those batteries instead.
Oh, yeah, batteries. Oh, batteries.
Gross.
They're the worst.
Gross.
So expensive and just they die so quickly.
You know those ones that are two-pronged? I think it's a D battery, maybe?
Yeah. Yep.
Did you ever put your tongue on one of those when you were little?
No.
Oh, I put my tongue on a lot of things, and the battery was one of them. And it gives you a little shock to the system.
Do other things give you a little shock to the system when you put your tongue on it?
I can't confirm or deny that.
Okay.
Moving on, we had another listener write to us about how to beat the heat. Kelsey. She is kelsey.suth, S-U-T-H, on Instagram. She says, I like to use the misting fans. O2 Cool sells keychain versions of their misting fans, so they aren't as clunky and big as the full-sized ones.
That's a great tip.
Super smart.
A tiny misting fan.
Who doesn't want a fan in their pocket?
Be careful with that. Don't turn it on.
I've had a few fans in my pocket, if you know what I mean.
I think I do.
Just let your imagination run wild with that one.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That was interesting.
Oh, dear.
Well, thank you, Kristen and Kelsey, for those fantastic tips on how to beat the heat in Walt Disney World.
Thanks for your tips.
Just the tips.
Oh, no.
I couldn't not say it.
This is... we are wild today. Moving on, Adam, we have but one anniversary this week to celebrate.
But one.
But one. And it is your favorite movie, I think. Planes.
How many times have I seen Planes?
I mean...
How many times?
You're wearing an outfit from the movie right now.
I know all the lines from it. I bet someone says takeoff at some point in it.
Who can say?
I've never seen Planes.
I've never seen Planes. Maybe it's a great movie. I have no idea.
Sure.
It is turning only 6 years old. I thought it was older than that.
Oh, yeah. It does seem like it would be older than that.
Planes was released on August 9th, 2013.
I feel like that's a solid little kids movie. Like little kids would definitely be into planes, right?
Probably.
I think little kids like trucks and they like planes and dolls, and I think anything that kind of talks that they can play with, they're into. So I think they dig planes.
So probably they like Disney as well then.
Yeah. Just like adults.
Yeah. Listen. All-star cast, though, I have to say.
Who's in it?
Terry Hatcher. Julie.
Okay.
Listen.
Okay.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Oh, I love her. Yeah. Wow. What is she not in?
I know.
A Bug's Life?
Mm-hmm.
She's going to be in the new Pixar Onward?
Mm-hmm.
She's in that?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
She's amazing. John Cleese.
Oh, wow.
Val Kilmer.
Okay.
Crazy Town.
Yeah.
John Ratzenberger.
John Ratzenberger.
I mean, he's in everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's a pretty delightful cast. Why do you hate Terry Hatcher so much?
You just had kind of built up the talent involved, and this may be the last thing Terry Hatcher did.
Well, listen, look at her bank account after Desperate Housewives and get back to me.
Oh, I'm not worried about her financially. Artistically, a little bit, but not financially.
I think she's funny.
Okay.
All right. Happy anniversary, Planes. Sorry, Adam hates Terry Hatcher. Speaking of your Terry Hatcher rant, Adam,
Yeah.
unless you have been under a rock and you are a Disney fan, you have not escaped the crazy angry mom rant that has been circulating the internet for days and days and days now.
Yeah. Yeah, Patrick. Yeah. You know, this came out, I mean, it's been weeks, Patrick.
It's
been weeks, and this came out before we recorded our last episode.
Yes.
And I was like, should we address it? And I was like, you know what? No, we're not going to address it. And then several fans reached out to us last week, and they were like, are you guys going to talk about this?
Yeah.
And so here we are.
Here we are.
Pandering.
It's true. Listen, got to make that coin, right?
Yeah.
We get paid so much on this show.
We are wealthy.
Upwards of no dollars.
That's correct.
So here's the thing, kiddos. We're going to touch that D just a little bit, okay? But before we do, we've prepared a dramatic reading of the Angry Mom's rant.
Okay.
I've decided it's best to read this in sort of a British Mary Poppins, Julie Andrews fashion.
Proper. Okay.
Because when you read it, it begs to be read as a proper statement.
Sure, why not? Yeah.
So here we go. It pisses me off to no end when I see childless couples without a Disney World. 10 angry emojis. Disney World is a family amusement park, yet these immature millennials throw away their money on useless crap. They have no idea the joy and happiness it is to mothers who buys their babies treats and toys.
Buys their babies.
They will never experience the exhaustion that it is to chase a 3-year-old around and getting stared at, assuming I'm a bad mother. This in some very slutty shorts was buying a Mickey pretzel, and Aiden wanted one, but the line was very long, so I said, later. And it broke his poor little heart, and he cried, I wanted to take that pretzel from that tramp, like, thanks, bitch, you made my son cry. 6 angry emojis. Disney World is for children. People without children need to be banned. Mothers with children should be allowed to skip all the line.
One line.
You have no idea what it's like to have to stand in line for 3 hours with a cranky, tired, exhausted toddler. And I can't just tell him that we can't do something because it's his vacation too. I hate childless women with a burning passion. 11 angry emojis.
Wow, Patrick, that was beautiful.
I will be receiving my award?
Yeah, you brought some class to that rather classless rant.
Well, it was classy and sassy.
Mm-hmm.
Listen.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, dear.
What do you want to say about this?
Everything's already been said about it.
Mm-hmm.
Calm down. That's all I have to say. Calm down. Calm down, mother, and calm down everyone else. Like, I don't know. I'm not going to excuse her.
Sure.
By any stretch of the imagination. We all get angry and we post things that we shouldn't have.
Mm-hmm.
But I do take umbrage with the slut shaming that she does in it.
Yeah.
And women without children, why would you be mad at? I don't understand.
Right.
Disney World aside, I get you have opinions on what's too old to be in Disney World.
Sure.
That's for you to decide. I couldn't care any less what anyone thinks about that. But when you start shaming people for not having children or following or towing the line of what you think a normal living is,
sure,
that's when I get a little bristly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
What about you?
This is a post that was posted last September on Facebook by a person no one has any idea really who they are. And I hope that this is the most adversity that anyone faces in their life. But I have been called worse things to my face. So this is like nothing.
By me.
To me. Yeah, by you. By you. I get that it hurts when someone bashes something that we love.
Yeah.
But I think it's really indicative of the time we live in when this faceless, nameless person had such an effect on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just always think about, imagine if no one had commented on this and no one had reposted it. Why are we giving oxygen to this kind of vitriol?
Right.
And it doesn't create a conversation necessarily. It just deflates any kind of joy or common sense that people have. So anyway.
Well, that being said, I think it is nice to have seen sort of the millennial childless pride that's been happening in the parks.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of neat. As long as it stays there and we don't actually start bashing this woman and giving her more of a spotlight. Like, let's just turn it around and turn it into adult pride at Disney. You know what I mean?
Adult pride.
I like it. I like it. Because we know Disney's for everybody.
It is.
Right?
Yep.
And it was built that way. So let's just continue on and do what you want to do. People are going to be mad at anything.
I just have one request.
What's that?
Stop reposting this.
Yeah.
We're tired.
We are tired. We just did a full reading of it. But
yeah, that's a good point.
No, let's start deflating
Shame
it, though.
on us.
Shame on us.
But we're giving the people what they want.
That's right. We are pandering.
We're giving the people what they want.
Exactly.
Speaking of giving people what they want, Patrick.
Uh-oh.
You were on another podcast.
I was cheating on you.
How dare you?
No, I was representing us.
Representing.
You were not able to be there, so I did my best Adam impression and slept through the whole thing.
That was accurate.
Mm-hmm. No, I was recently on an episode of The Disney Buzz with our friends JT and Melanie. You can find them wherever you listen to your podcast, probably where you listen to this podcast. If you look up The Disney Buzz, and this episode would be Season 2, Episode 3.
You were fantastic on it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I thought you really were a great addition to that conversation.
Oh, thanks so much. They have a really great positive spin on their podcast.
Yes, absolutely.
They're very knowledgeable as well, and they keep it positive but honest.
Yeah.
Like we try to do as
Yeah.
well. So they do a great job. Go ahead and listen to their podcast. It's great. And listen to season 2, episode 3 specifically for some GDTD love.
That's right. Next up, Patrick, we received some D-mail this week.
We did.
We received some D-mail from someone with the initials MAV.
Wait, we have no idea who this person is?
I have no idea who this person is.
This might be the Anthrax episode.
Yeah, this could be our last episode.
Oh, no.
So this person reached out to us via email at info@gazedothed.com and said, I have worked on and off for the Disney company for 16 years in some high positions in the entertainment world for them.
What?
I would love to send you to something, and then MAV. So they sent us an envelope.
What?
Yeah, it's a big envelope.
MAV. Mad About Victories.
Could be.
Okay.
I was thinking Michael Eisner, but
Oh.
Eisner does not start with V. Okay, I'm opening the envelope right now.
Oh, I can hear the crinkles.
It's really sticky.
That's that's upsetting.
And unlike you, I'm going to look in the envelope first because I don't know this person.
What's in the bag?
And
It's a bag
so
this time
it is a
instead of a box.
Oh, you're going to like this, Patrick.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Is it nudes?
No, it's not nudes.
Oh, okay. We'll see if I like it then.
Oh, there's a few things in here.
Oh my goodness.
So first of all, I'm taking this out.
I'm so excited. I'm so scared.
Oh, there's an actual note in here, too.
Oh my goodness.
I sent both of you 2 very hot items from Disneyland. First, you both have a reusable bag from the new Star Wars themed land.
No way.
These bags were selling out fast when the land first opened. Now they are more available. Second, you both have the opening guide map given to all the guests when the land first opened.
No.
The maps were a very hot item as they were so popular, the ticket takers at the front had to hide them from all guests. And at one point, you could only get them if you asked for one.
Wow.
They are no longer giving these out anymore. I would save them if I were you guys. Next, you have the regular maps they give out when the cardstock maps ran out. I know this is not much, but it will bring a little taste to you both. The bags are only available in the land, and you can't get them anywhere else on property. Enjoy, MAV.
What?
Yes, so we have, wow.
That is so kind
my
and
gosh.
thoughtful.
Look at this opening day guide map.
Oh, wow. That is some fancy paper.
Quality guide map, and then we have the current parks guide map, which is beautiful as well.
I shouldn't even say paper. This is like cardstock for sure. It is it's beautiful. It's stunning. Oh, this is getting framed.
It's gorgeous. And then, of course, we have the 2 black bags.
Oh, wow. Those are fantastic.
Thank you so much, MAV.
Thank you. That was really thoughtful of you. These are beautiful.
These are fantastic, and we sincerely appreciate you taking the time to send these to us.
Absolutely.
And last but not least, before we throw it to the news, Patrick, I don't know if you're aware of this, but next month is our 1-year anniversary of doing the podcast.
Holy buckets.
Can you believe it?
I can believe it because I've been sitting down here for a full year. I haven't left my basement
Yeah.
for 1 year.
Your skin has become so pale, and you no longer need your eyes for sight. You hear and you smell.
Yeah, that's right. But I'm snatched, though, because I haven't eaten. What?
I like how you turn it into a positive.
Yeah.
Good for you. And Patrick, as we take stock of the first year and plan for the second and beyond, I thought it was a good idea to create a survey for you, our listeners, to better understand what matters most to you in Disney-related content and how you listen to the podcast.
I love it. Is the first question, who do you like best on the podcast?
That's number 1.
Okay, great.
Yep. And if they answer me, they can continue with the survey. And if they answer you, the survey ends.
Yeah.
And their computer melts.
They get redirected to my webcam.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, everybody.
Oh, no.
So just so you know, the survey is completely anonymous. So please be honest on it. We really want your honest feedback on the podcast. And it also gives you an opportunity to tell us what you want more of on the podcast or what you haven't heard yet on the podcast that you'd like to hear us talk about.
Absolutely.
The survey can be found at gazedothed.com/survey. So head on over to gazedothed.com/survey. It's a very quick survey, and I promise you it will really help us plan for the future.
And this is available now. Yes, people can go right now.
Right now, head on over, fill out that survey, and let us know how you feel about Gaze Do the D.
When it comes to what your favorite part of the show is, My name is Patrick Kozycki, Kozicky.
Patrick Virginia Kozycki.
Well, thanks for setting that up, Adam. I'm very excited to know what the people think.
Yeah, I think it's really going to help us get a better understanding of who's listening, how they're listening, and what they would like to hear going forward.
For sure. It's going to help us create potentially new content that people want to know about.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thanks for doing that. What do you say we throw it on over to the news?
Let's do just that.
Yes.
According to a July 29th, 2019 Variety article, actor Paul Walter Hauser, best known for his standout role as Sean in I, Tonya, has joined the cast of Disney's upcoming live-action film Cruella.
Ooh.
Did you see I, Tonya?
I did.
He was so fantastic in it. For
Yes.
anyone who doesn't recognize his character's name, he basically played the buffoon. The guy who kind of put the plot together, essentially kind of a know-it-all dummy.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Cruella is an origin story based on the classic 101 Dalmatians villain, Cruella de Vil, and stars Emma Stone and Emma Thompson. Little is known about the film other than it is expected to be a prequel to the 1961 animated classic. We also do not know the details of Hauser's role, though he is a master, as I said, at playing dimwits, so it's very possible that he will fill the role of a henchman, maybe?
Interesting. Oh, that could be.
Yeah. Cruella, which is currently in pre-production and is being directed by Craig Gillespie, who just happened to direct I, Tonya, Lars and the Real Girl, and several episodes of United States of Terra, will open domestically on December 23rd, 2020.
This is all starting to make me think that this movie might be a little more dark than I was even expecting.
Oh, yeah.
Based on the director's previous work and some of the actors he's getting involved with the piece.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's going to be very screwball at all.
I hope not.
Much like the Glenn Close version of 101 Dalmatians was.
Which I loved.
Yeah.
I loved that rendition. I mean, she was nominated for an Academy Award for playing Cruella de Vil.
Yeah. This one sounds like it might have a darker edge to it for sure because of the director who directed I, Tonya. And when you think of United States of Terra, too.
Man. Yeah, it's a dark comedy for sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm excited for that.
Who's going to play Emma Stone's love interest in this movie?
I'm going to hope for a reunion, and I'm going to go with Baby Goose, Ryan Gosling.
Yeah. From Crazy Stupid Love. Was that the name of that movie that they were in together?
Well, yeah, of course, but they were also in La La Land.
Oh, that's right. Oh, man. Is there going to be a tap number in Cruella?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Adam, I'm sorry to report I have a little bit of sad news today.
Oh, no.
I know. Disney legend and acclaimed voice actor Russi Taylor has passed away this past week on July 26th at the age of 75. Miss Taylor had an expansive career in voice acting and, of course, was best known as the official voice of Minnie Mouse for more than 30 years.
Wow.
This woman was incredible. Beyond voicing this iconic character, she also gave voices to many other Disney characters, including Nurse Mouse in one of my favorites, The Rescuers Down Under. She also voiced Huey, Dewey, Louie, and Webbigail in the original animated DuckTales series. She also lent her voice to other Disney animated series, including Tailspin, The Little Mermaid, Kim Possible, The Lion Guard, and Tangled.
Wow.
Incredible, incredible. Beyond voicing Disney characters, she was the voice of Strawberry Shortcake, Baby Gonzo in The Muppet Babies, Pebbles Flintstone, and Duchess the Cat in the movie Babe.
Okay, this is phenomenal. So normally when you hear that a voice actor is associated with a character or several characters, you're kind of like, oh yeah, I can see how that person would also be doing that voice.
Yeah.
But with her, these character voices are all over the map.
All over the place.
Incredibly talented.
Different vocal ranges, different genders of characters.
Yeah.
She was incredible, incredible. A true Disney legend. Something that I always forget, and then when I read about it again, my heart just explodes with joy, is that she was married to Wayne Alwyn, who was the voice of Mickey Mouse.
Isn't that the sweetest thing ever?
It's the sweetest thing in the world. If this isn't the most romantic thing in the world, I don't know. There's no love in the world then.
Yeah.
It makes me tear up a little bit thinking about it.
Yeah.
So, Russi Taylor, your gifts have left this world a better place than when you found it. We thank you for leaving your mark with us, and we hope that you were back together with your Mickey.
Oh, Patrick. Last week's Star Wars Galaxy's Edge cast and press previews in Walt Disney World's Hollywood Studios are shedding light on the subtle differences between Black Spire Outpost in Disneyland and Disney World. But one difference is notable. Because it involves booze, Patrick. So naturally, we need to talk about this.
Booze news.
The milk stand serving the incredibly popular and somewhat divisive blue and green milk from episodes 4 and 8 of the Skywalker saga will have alcoholic versions as options in Walt Disney World.
Interesting.
The Disneyland version of Galaxy's Edge is dry, with the exception of inside Oga's Cantina. So this means that guests visiting Galaxy's Edge in Walt Disney World will have a walk-around adult beverage option available to them.
Interesting. I like that.
The Blue Milk Cooler is a plant-based dairy blend of coconut and rice milk with alluring fruity characteristics and rum. Patrick, it includes rum.
You just described me.
The Green Milk Cooler is a plant-based dairy blend of coconut and rice milk with zippy citrus and tropical characteristics featuring tequila.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That could get dangerous.
Things could get interesting on Batuu. Yep. The classic non-alcoholic versions will cost $7.99, while the alcoholic versions will cost $14.
Whoa. That's a hike.
Yeah.
Okay.
They better be very boozy.
Yeah.
In addition, Docking Bay 7 Food and Cargo and Ronto Roasters will also be selling hard beverages in Galaxy's Edge in Walt Disney World.
Okay.
Star Wars Galaxy's Edge officially opens in Disney's Hollywood Studios on August 29th, 2019.
But not for me.
But not for you.
I wonder if they'll have them available.
I think they will.
I would love that.
I think they will. I'm wondering how long it will be in Walt Disney World's version of Galaxy's Edge before Oga's Cantina has a walk-up window. Like, you think they're just going to carve a hole in the cantina and be like, come get your booze here.
A quick
having
service.
to go into the cantina.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Probably 1 week.
Mm-hmm.
They'll wait until that happens.
How many blue milks are you going to be drinking?
Until I throw up blue milk.
Yeah.
So 7.
You know exactly.
I know my
how
body.
many it takes.
I know how it works. Shockingly enough, Adam, I have some Run Disney news for you.
I have no words.
I can't stop talking about Run Disney.
As you shouldn't. You love Run Disney.
But they keep pushing out exciting news. The 2020 Marathon Weekend medals have been revealed, and they look incredible. The January Marathon Weekend will hold 7 races and 3 challenges, all with their own medal designs. And all of the medals this year have a very soft, almost muted and classic design to them.
Oh.
They're a little bit retro themed.
Okay.
I love them so much. And they all have a character running in the race. So when you look at them, they at first seem very simple in their design, but if you get a closer look, they're actually very intricately drawn characters. Really beautiful work this time around. So starting off the weekend is the 5K, which features Pluto on the medal.
Love Pluto.
It's adorable. Next up is the 10K, featuring Oswald the Lucky Rabbit.
Ooh, that's
Very
a fun
cool.
one.
It's beautiful. Both the Run Disney Kids Dash and the 1 mile will feature our boy Goofy.
Oh, Goofy.
A Gersh. The half marathon is clearly the best medal in all the land, with my babe, my long distance love.
Oh, my.
You like that?
Distance?
Distance.
Doesn't roll off the tongue, but I like what you did there.
Oh, it will. I'm talking about Donald Duck.
Donald.
It's really cute. I love it so
Donnie
much.
D.
And that's the one I'm going to get because this is the first time I'm doing the half marathon in the marathon weekend.
Oh my gosh, it's perfect.
It's
Kismet.
perfect. It is. It's Dismet.
Stop.
All day long. I got them all day long. Rounding out the mile-based runs, according to the Disney Parks blog, for the first time ever, both Minnie Mouse and Mickey Mouse will be co-hosting the full marathon. However, the image posted online only shows Mickey on the medal. So it's possible that it's a double-sided medal with Minnie on the other side, but they haven't shown that yet. So if anyone out there knows for sure, let us know.
Get Minnie on that medal.
I mean,
Yeah.
hashtag we're with Minnie.
Yeah.
Moving on to the challenge medals. So this year marks the 15th anniversary of Goofy's Race and a Half Challenge, which is a full marathon and a half marathon for a total of 39.3 miles.
Wow.
I know, incredible. The medal, of course, features Goofy, and it appears to be a really beautiful and retro black and white design.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's really cool. Almost like a nickel finish to it.
Sure.
It's really cool. And if you're truly crazy and are doing the Dopey Challenge, which is the 5K, 10K, half marathon, and full marathon for a total of 48.6 miles, you, of course, get the Dopey-themed medal, which is a really beautiful gold with purple highlights like Dopey's hat.
That is insanity.
Insanity.
Not the medal, the amount of miles you're running.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Well done to anyone who can do that. That is
Yes.
not for me, at least at this point.
Not yet, but you'll get there.
We'll see. I don't know if it's a goal of mine or not. My goal is just to survive.
Yeah, and you are getting older.
Oh, that's rude. How very dare you. So last but not least, you can also choose to participate in the Castaway Key Challenge, which is an add-on to any of the Marathon Weekend races. After the weekend, if you've booked the Castaway Key cruise, you will run another 5K on the island Castaway Key, Disney's private island, where you'll receive a Captain Minnie medal and a challenge medal featuring the Disney cruise ship. To take part in this challenge, you'll need a reservation on the Disney Dream with boarding on January 13th, and you'll need that reservation number before you can register for this race. This sounds like a dream vacation.
It does, but man, what a bunch of qualifiers you have to get through to get to that Castaway Key
It does,
run.
yeah, it does feel complicated, but I think worth it. I mean, you're going to be on a cruise, and you're going to get this very limited edition medal.
A mini medal.
A mini medal.
That's awesome.
They should call it that.
Yeah.
The official Run Disney Marathon weekend runs January 8th through the 12th, or later if you're going to be on the cruise as well. Registrations are still available for the half marathon, full marathon, Goofy's Race and a Half Challenge, and the Dopey Challenge, the Castaway Key Challenge, and the Kids Dash. So that means the 1 mile, 5K, and 10K are completely sold out. To learn more about the marathon weekend, Run Disney, or to register for a race, visit rundisney.com. I feel like if you do the Dopey Challenge, you need to purchase another suitcase to get everything home.
Oh, those medals?
You get the 5K, the 10K, the half, the full, and then you also get the Goofy and the Dopey medal.
So it becomes a weightlifting challenge after you complete the run.
Absolutely, yes, of course.
Patrick, I've got a rumor for you.
Rumor has it.
Beyonce,
Uh-oh.
who voiced Nala in the recent remake of Disney's The Lion King and was featured on the official soundtrack as well as releasing her own album, The Lion King The Gift, is reportedly in discussions to partner with Disney on upcoming projects that could include the creation of her own films.
Oh, good. Can't wait for that.
Hey, you know what?
What?
I say go for it, Beyonce.
I mean, do what you want to do. You're going to do that anyways.
It doesn't say that she's going to be in them.
Mm-hmm.
She's just creating the films. So maybe she'll just be on the producer side of things and the creator side of things.
Oh, that's not going to happen.
Oh. According to the Daily Mail, the partnership would give Beyonce, quote, free reign, and an unnamed industry leader, so be skeptical, people, is quoted as saying Beyonce's deal with Disney for The Lion King was one of the biggest it has done to date. Now they want to expand it by giving her free reign to create her own movies under the Disney umbrella.
Did any of those folks watch The Lion King? I have questions.
They're watching the money coming in from The Lion King.
Touche.
Yeah.
Touche.
Beyonce has yet to comment on whether or not she will be working on more projects with Disney.
Great.
How talented is Beyonce?
In what venue, Adam?
In R&B performance.
The most.
Yes, she's the most talented.
I mean, listen, I bow down to Beyonce. She is, as we've said before, one of our lifetime's most incredible performers.
And I truly believe she is a visionary.
Yeah.
I don't believe she's the best actor in the world.
Do you think they can just add some Disney characters to her Lemonade videos? Would that be appropriate? So, Adam.
Yes, Patrick.
Before we leap into our interview with the Broadway Husbands, why don't we give them a little intro, a very deserving introduction to them?
These guys.
Yeah.
What fabulous guys.
Talented.
Oh, my gosh.
Amazing.
Yes.
fantastic credits on their resumes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it couldn't have been a better interview, I have to say.
We're talking about Bret Shuford and Stephen Hanna.
Mm-hmm.
They're known as Broadway Husbands on Instagram and online. You can find them at BroadwayHusbands.com.
Mm-hmm.
And they both, as Patrick mentioned, have had incredible careers on and off Broadway.
That's absolutely true.
So Stephen has been a principal dancer with the New York City Ballet and has performed in Broadway productions like Hello Dolly, On the Town, and Billy Elliot.
And An American in Paris.
And An American in Paris.
Such a good show.
And Bret has performed in Beauty and the Beast and The Little Mermaid and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang on Broadway.
Just to name a few.
I know. He's been all over the map.
All over the map. I have to say, one of my favorite credits on Stephen's resume is he was featured as a dancer, an ABA student in the movie Center Stage.
Oh, yes.
One of my favorite movies of all time.
Let's talk about the insanity of the costume changes in that last number that they do, the big performance. Like the curtain goes down, or like I don't even know if the curtain goes down, but one moment they're wearing one costume and suddenly
she has dreads. Remember?
That is a quick change.
Yeah,
that is a quick change.
The best one ever.
But most importantly, these guys are huge Disney nerds.
Yeah.
And they're Disney bounders.
Mm-hmm.
So we obviously wanted to take some time to get to know them better and what really drives their passion for Disney.
That's absolutely true. I don't think we can sing their accolades any more than we already have. I guess we probably could. We can go on for days and days. Their credits and their history and what they're doing online and what they're doing through theater education is really incredible. So hopefully we were able to capture part of the joy that it was to talk to both Bret and Stephen.
Yes.
So what do you say we jump into the interview?
Let's do it.
Welcome to the pod, Bret and Stephen.
Hi.
Hello.
How's it going, guys?
Really good.
Having a wonderful, magical day.
Well, it's the only way we know how to do it with Disney, right?
Exactly.
That's right.
Speaking of, let's get into your Disstory or Disney history. Just sort of your background and how your love affair with Disney started. And I'll leave it to you to decide who goes first.
I'll go first.
Steven.
Yeah. So, I think I've always been a Disney fan from an early age. The first time I went to Walt Disney World was when I was 5. And then in the late 80s, I loved The Little Mermaid. And then, I became a teenager and I had a lot of angst. So I kind of left my Disney love. I didn't forget about it, but I definitely just wasn't all about it. Like once The Lion King happened, I kind of, went through my teenage years. And then Bret and I started dating, and I went to meet him early on in our relationship in Walt Disney World because he was going on vacation there, and he had reservations to eat at what's the restaurant?
California Grill.
California Grill.
Fancy.
It was on a Sunday evening, and the person that he was supposed to go on vacation with couldn't make it, and so I surprised him and flew down and made it to dinner with him, and then we had this like amazing night at in the extra magic hours, and got to ride all the rides at least a couple times. The ones that we wanted to, the attractions we wanted to. Sorry, I called it rides. I didn't mean to. And it kind of like really blossomed from there. I was always a Disney fan. Like I said, I loved The Little Mermaid. I loved Aladdin because I was, around when those movies first came out, and The Lion King I loved. And then I kind of, just stepped away for a little bit. And then, that kind of ignited, kind of my passion for it again. And then the first Christmas, then I'll let you talk. The first Christmas that we were together, I knew Bret obviously was into Disney and liked it a lot. So for Christmas, one of his gifts was the autobiography or the autobiography of Walt Disney.
It's not an autobiography, it's a biography.
It was sorry. Oh my God. It's a biography of Walt Disney. And there was something else that I got you. What was it? Was it? No, it was just the book. It was the book. And so then things got a little bit more, and I'll let you go from there.
It went a little deeper, I guess.
Yeah.
I was always a Disney fan. I mean, my earliest memories are watching Disney Channel because cable was a new invention when I was a child. And I watched Dumbo Circus every morning and Mickey's Mousercise and Mickey Mouse Club after school. I was I was an avid Mickey Mouse Club fan. I had to watch every episode at the end of the day after school. I would write them every week. I knew all the names of the Mickey Mouse Club members. One time they called me.
No, they didn't.
You know this story.
I know, I'm just kidding.
One time the studio called me, the Mickey Mouse Club, and because I wrote them so much, like I wrote them every week, and they were like, "Hi, this is a producer from the Mickey Mouse Club."
What?
You know how they had that one day a week, it was like a Mickey Mouse Club member would visit a kid. They were like, "What would you do if a Mickey Mouse Club member came to visit you?" And I was like, "Oh my God. Oh my God." I would take them to the mall, and then they'd come to play practice with me, and then I'd take them to my dance studio, and then we'd go to voice lesson, and then we'd like sit outside and like talk to my family, and then like maybe throw a party. And the woman on the other end of the phone was like, "Okay, thank you so much." And then I never heard from them again.
Aww.
But that was my dream. Mickey Mouse Club was my dream. And then I always like had this affinity for the parks. And when The Lion King came out, the movie, the original movie, the animated film,
The original
Lion King, I was addicted to it. I saw it 4 times in like 2 weeks. I had every soundtrack. I had every Happy Meal toy from it. I had a whole bookshelf of just Lion King stuff. My birthday cake, I was 16, was a Lion King cake. I was obsessed. And then when the Broadway show was being created, I didn't know how. I met somebody who let me stay on their couch, and I flew up and I saw the original cast. I was very, very committed to the Lion King. And then my first Broadway show was Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. So I got to meet Richard Sherman and
Wow.
and his brother, and we sat, and I mean, I'll never forget like sitting at this party, and I kept him hostage in the corner and just asked him every story about Walt Disney that he could tell me. And then my second Broadway show was Beauty and the Beast. And then my third Broadway show was The Little Mermaid. And Stephen bought me that biography about Walt Disney, and I read the whole thing cover to cover in like a month. And as I was reading it, I was looking up and finding the Silly Symphony videos and finding all the different animated films that, the more obscure things that they would talk about. I would just do all this research about Destino and Zito, all these things. And then of course it's the Neil Gabler book, The Triumph of the American Imagination, and the whole description of the history of Disneyland. I was like, well, crap, I need to take a trip to California. And so I went to Disneyland by myself as a research trip after reading that book. And my life has never been the same. I have such a passion for it.
We need to circle back, Bret, to your work with Disney Theatrical Group. But before we do that, I just need to know which one of you is the biggest Diz nerd.
What?
I'm getting Bret.
I think we made that. I think we made that pretty clear.
Well, let's talk about your work, Bret, with Disney Theatrical Group. So you played Lumiere in Disney's Beauty and the Beast and Prince Eric in Disney's The Little Mermaid, right?
I was the understudy for both of those, just to be clear.
Can you talk a bit about your experience working with Disney Theatrical Group and how it differed from working on another kind of Broadway show?
Well, I think that the benefits of Disney on Broadway is that they have access. I mean, they're a division of the studio.
Right. Yeah.
So they have access to funds that a lot of independent Broadway producers don't have.
Mm-hmm.
Like fairy dust? Pixie dust?
You could call it that. So the pressure is not as high. The pressure's high on any Broadway show because you're spending a lot of money and taking a huge risk. But I remember going to costume fittings, and they're trying to match. And for Little Mermaid, they were trying to match our unitard skin color to our own skin color. Like no Broadway producer would do that, but it's Disney, they can do that. Things like that where you're like, this is a different level. There's also a lot of loyalty, which I really loved. I did Beauty and the Beast, like I said, and I would go on for Lumiere a lot. And the Cogsworth at the time was Jonathan Freeman. Of course, we know him as the voice of Jafar. And so we became really good friends. And then we both left Beauty and the Beast to do Little Mermaid. He was Grimsby, the original cast. And then he did Mary Poppins, and now he's Jafar on Broadway. So, you know, I love the loyalty that comes with Tom Schumacher and that as well. So it's like a nice, it feels a bit like family. There's a definite corporate level to it that I think they try as hard as they can to not fall into. But there's also, you know, a bottom line, and it's a corporation, and there's all that stuff too that comes with it. But for me, you know, when Roy Disney came to see Little Mermaid and I got him to sign my Walt Disney Treasures DVD, and I still have, you know, that was like, okay, this is a dream come true. And then I met,
and then tell them about.
Well, we'll get there.
Okay.
So that's Disney. That's Disney. My Disney theatrical experiences, they've been wonderful. And then they actually let me go 2 years ago on the Disney Magic. I got to perform my solo show and represent Disney on Broadway for that. So that was a wonderful experience too.
Was there any kind of backlash or ill feelings in the Broadway community when Disney announced they were going to be doing Beauty and the Beast on Broadway? Did it seem like a big corporate entity was coming in to take over Broadway, or were people excited by the potential for production value and level of storytelling?
Well, I joined the show about 12 years into its run.
Got it.
So I don't know what it was like when it first came around. People do in the theater community have a judgment around Disney because it is its own. They really have their own contracts with the unions. They are a separate entity as far as, except that Tom Schumacher is now the head of the Broadway League, which is interesting. But I think that some people, especially old school New Yorkers, do not like the Disneyfication of Broadway and Times Square. However, it's financially this year, you know, the numbers are out of this world. The amount of money that Broadway has made this year was more than all of the sports organizations combined.
Is that true?
Yes.
Really? Wow.
That's crazy town.
You know, and I think Disney's really found a formula for themselves that works. They only keep 3 shows running at once. So I think the community has embraced Disney on a commercial level. I don't know that they've ever really valued it on an artistic level. And I think that's a shame. But I think there's like people who do amazing work with Disney, but when you watch the Tony Awards, they always get gypped, you know?
For sure. What I love about it is the accessibility that Disney's bringing to Broadway.
Yep.
Like it's for everybody, which was Walt Disney's dream, right?
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
So, Stephen, I have a question for you.
Yes.
As far as I know, you have not been in a Disney on Broadway production, but you were in Hello, Dolly.
Yeah.
Can you confirm whether or not Bette Midler will be reprising her role as Winifred in Hocus Pocus?
I can neither confirm or deny. I do not know.
Rude.
I do not know. I mean, I would assume she would, right?
Well, you need to pull some strings and make it happen. You're best friends, right?
You're also forgetting Donna Murphy was the standby.
Oh, that's right.
She wasn't the standby. She was the Tuesday evening.
Yeah.
Dolly.
Sure.
Yes.
So do you have any Bette Midler stories for us? Did she ever slap you?
Did she ever slap me?
Yeah.
No, she never.
Not even on the butt?
No. She was hilarious. You know, she was kind of famous for going up on her lines and just really, you know, just having a good time. She liked to sit on the passerelle, and, you know, there was one time she was singing before the parade passes by, and she just was like, stop, because she thought she had kind of gone up on her words, and it turned out that she hadn't. And she was like, you know, it's just like one of those days. She's like, she sits down on the front and she's like, wait, where was I? And somebody's like, you were at the second verse. And she was like, no, I wasn't. Shut up. All right. And then she started the song over again. And then she eventually stood up. And one of my favorite things was, I just thought of it. In the very beginning, she comes out, you know, call on Dolly Levi. And then she walks forward and she said her first 2 sentences maybe. And then it was like, cricket, cricket, cricket. And I think somebody was trying to kind of feed her the next word, to get her back on track. And it just didn't happen. And she was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm very tired and I'm old." And that's how the show started. So she would do things like that, and it was great fun.
What I'm hearing you say is that she's very unprofessional.
I did not say that.
Well, you heard it here, folks.
She's Bette Midler. She doesn't have to be anything. She's Bette Midler.
Her presence is unlike anything I've ever seen, and the audience reaction was unlike anything I've ever witnessed, and it was a really cool experience, and she was great. So
let's talk a bit about your time in the Disney parks. We all see on your Instagram feed at Broadway Husbands the photos of you guys in the parks, and you guys are Disney bounders as well. How often do you get to visit the parks?
Well, this is probably the first year in a long time we haven't gone as much as we used to.
Yeah.
My tendency is that if we work a lot out of town if we book jobs. So my tendency is like if I'm within a 2-hour radius, I will go to a Disney theme park no matter what. And so Steven I kind of drag Steven there.
And then I walk in, and
sometimes he'll go, we have to go.
Yeah. Maybe in the beginning he started dragging me, but then usually what happens is I get there and I just become a different person, and I love it.
We
so
probably
much.
2013, I think that year I went to a Disney theme park a total of 5 or 6 times.
Yes.
Because I was in California, I was on tour. So I was in California like multiple times. I was in California for 2 weeks. I spent both days off at Disneyland. Disneyland's my favorite. We can talk about that too. But last year we went in
twice. April and June.
So usually we'll try to go for some sort of festival, right? So we'll try to get a food and wine,
We've been
party
2 or 3 times. Not So Scary Halloween. The thing is, so about the theme parks is that for me, one thing that really changed, I can't believe I'm about to say this. The one thing that really changed for me was in 2014, I think it was January, February 14, we went on a Disney cruise for just 3 days. And we were lucky enough to be chosen to go to this like special, I don't even know what they said, but they were like, go to this room.
It's a meet and greet.
It's a meet and greet. You've been chosen. And I don't know if we knew that it was a meet and greet. I mean, maybe we did. So it was me and Bret and 2 women dressed up in like kimonos, and then and like an elderly man, right? And we were like in this room waiting, and I wasn't quite sure what was going to happen. And then every character that had been on the ship came out, and we had our own private meet and greet with all of them.
Wow.
And I've never really been into character meet and greets, but ever since then, it like literally has changed my experience there, and just made me excited for different things that I didn't realize that I was that into, because it was so fun, and we got to get photos with all of them. And that was the same year that the Mickey Mouse in the park was the talking Mickey. So we had that experience right before we went on the ship. So it was like this amazing meet and greet spectacular.
It's been a slow progression getting Steven to really cross over. And I'm really proud of the work that I've done. I just want to say that.
He's done a great job.
So we try to go to the parks as much as we can. We're a little spoiled. When I worked for Disney on Broadway, we got a lot of VIP treatment, which was nice. So now that I don't work for Disney on Broadway, it's always a little more like, oh, remember when?
Yeah.
But I'm obsessed. I love it. I can't wait to go back. I'm almost always trying to plan my year according to when are we going to get down there.
It's true.
Same here. So Bret, you mentioned Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
Steven, what's your favorite park?
Animal Kingdom for sure.
Excellent choice.
Yeah, the best.
So I'm going to make a wild assumption that you 2 are part of the LGBTQ community, right?
Yes,
What?
honey. Yeah.
I can't believe you're just assuming that.
Yeah, I know. Very rude of me. So what do you think is sort of the magic that binds people in the LGBTQ community to Disney? There tends to be sort of a draw, right?
Yeah. I think that it's just the generosity and acceptance of spirit that you feel there. I mean, the people are just, obviously, all of the cast members are so friendly. And I think that also, you see a lot of, I don't know, it's just the happiness of it, and it's magic, it's fantasy, and it's a place where people can be themselves,
Yeah.
There's no room for judgment there.
I think the hook starts probably really early on for LGBT people when you see a Disney movie and there's always a character who's the outsider, who doesn't fit in, who finds their way to owning who they are. And I think that's the journey for a lot of us in the LGBT community. And so Disney tells that in their stories. We identify with those characters. And I think that it's hard to let that go. There's a nostalgia in that, and there's a safety in it, and a sense of security. It's so funny when you go to Disney parks, there's always that gay on the float who waves at you and just gives you that extra acknowledgement, right? There's always that dancer on that in that show. And you're just like, yes, I belong here and no one can do anything about it. No one's going to chase me out of town, or, this is where a place where we all can fit in. We all can be loving. I can Disney bound and wear my ears, and people might look at me, but
because they're just like, why didn't I wear that?
Yeah. They're like, oh, I want that.
God, that looks so good. What? And all the characters are like coming up to us, talking to us like they know
I love
us.
when the characters talk to us.
I call it the gay wink at Disney.
They call it the what?
The gay wink.
The gay wink. I did not know that that's what they called it, and now I know.
I've never heard of it, but I've seen it.
Well, I call it that.
But I mean, I remember getting the gay wink at 16, and I was like, I'm coming back here.
Can you tell us about your Disney bounding? What drew you to that, and what have been some of your favorite bounds?
Oh, I'm so passionate about Disney bounding. Do you want to talk about it first?
Yeah, I'll talk about it first. So this is another thing. The first time we did it was in, I want to say November of 15. November of 15. I think there are photos of us in Epcot as Figment and the Dream Finder.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
So that trip was the first time that we did it, and Bret had this idea, and I was not on board at all. When he brought it up, I was like, oh, no. And then I agreed to do it one day. And then I'm not sure if you told me before we went, but then he had planned all 3 days. And then I just, of course, had to do it. And it was so much fun that first time. Yeah, it made it really special.
Gosh, I think the Dream Finder and Figment were my favorite. Although the Dream Finder is a little harder for people to recognize. The Figment people definitely, cast members would be like, hey, Figment. And that was kind of cool. And then last year we went and we went with our friends and their baby, and we were all Pooh's Corner.
So cute.
I was Winnie the Pooh, Steven was Tigger, the baby was Piglet. They were
oh my gosh,
Eeyore and
Kanga? No.
King? I can't remember. Anyway,
I have to look at a photo.
It was such a cute photo, and then people would be like, "Hey, Pooh, how are all your friends doing today?"
Yeah.
It was really cute.
Also, I think it was the first time we went to Animal Kingdom. We were Chip and Dale.
That was cute.
And Pocahontas loved it.
Yeah,
she knew who we were.
She was all into us.
And she talked to us, and I was all excited.
But I think the trick with Disney bounding is not letting it turn into a costume.
Yeah.
It can't be a costume, and I think that's the challenge, because you want people to be like, oh, I recognize that. And what I love is the magic of it. You're not just wearing like a tank top and shorts and flip-flops. You're actually like dressing nice, so your photos look really super cute. But you're also, you're kind of stepping up your fashion game a little bit. But also, no one would really know you're Disney bounding until you're actually with that character.
Mm-hmm. The one year we went to Disneyland, we were Maleficent and the Evil Queen.
Mm-hmm.
That was a fun one. And Bret drew this really cool apple on my black tank top, which was cool.
Oh yeah, I'm obsessed with Disney bounding.
Now that we've done it,
we will never not Disney bound at the Disney parks now.
But I resisted. I did resist a little bit, and then I knew that I was just going to have to do it because I love my husband.
Aww. So to switch gears just a little bit, the Disney Villains Sing Royals on YouTube is epic. Epic. I love it so much. Can we expect a follow-up, and do you need us to be in it?
Yes and yes.
Great.
You know, we just spent this last year in Charleston, South Carolina, and kind of took a break. We're calling it our sabbatical. We took a sabbatical for the year, and we just got back to New York. So I have lots of plans for new video content, and we'll just find a role for you. You can audition. You can submit a videotape if you want. How's your dancing?
Mine's perfect. Patrick's is terrible.
I can do the flash dance where she pulls the bucket of water down on her. Is that usable?
That would be usable. Yeah, we'll find a place for you.
Great. I'm in.
All right.
So you guys have started a training program for children called the Broadway Performing Arts Academy, right?
That's right.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So this past year, like Bret said, we were in Charleston, South Carolina, and both of us were teaching full time, and we both enjoy teaching a lot. So we've decided to open up our own school and after school program for very young students at the Broadway Presbyterian Church. And we will be having classes for students ages 3 through 9.
Yeah, the intention was we realized there were a lot of, dance schools for young people, but not a lot who were actually being taught by people in the industry. Not that your 3-year-old needs to be on Broadway right now, but I think that parents, want to see or want to learn, and not only just their students, but the parents themselves want to see what it is like to have a life in the performing arts and let their child experience, learn from somebody who's actually doing that and accomplishing that. So that's our intention, was to help strengthen that community on the Upper West Side. It's 114th and Broadway, and also strengthen our community of Broadway people by helping the local community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And educating them from an early age so that they can have a great start and create confidence for them and, and start being creative at a young age.
And learn Sherman Brothers music. Because it's important that they know more than Moana.
You better preach. It's so great because, as everyone knows, the arts are so underrepresented and underfunded in schools. So it's great that there are places like your academy that are giving kids even more opportunities to sort of learn those basic roots of the arts.
Mm-hmm.
Amen. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned using the Sherman Brothers music as a teaching tool. Do you foresee yourself using a lot of Disney music in your teachings?
Yeah. I think it probably would be all Disney music.
Now, do you think that you'll use the Shermanigans that you say?
Oh yeah, I have. You can download my 5-song EP in which I sing the Shermanigans medley.
It's really good.
I try to incorporate as many Sherman Brothers songs as I could.
And Bret's talking about his EP, I Am No Prince.
I Am No Prince.
Yeah. How did you choose the songs that you combined for those medleys?
Oh, I was just thinking of stars. I have a thing about stars. And so my music director, Tracy, and I got together and we put together When You Wish Upon a Star with The Second Star to the Right, which is, of course, one of my most favorite Disney songs. And we also put in Shooting Star, which was a cut song from Hercules, right? Yeah. So we found this kind of obscure song. And so that was the first one. And then we did this song Spooky, which... So I have an old. I often wonder if my love for Disney stems from having my oldest brother who's a special needs, He's on the spectrum, and he has a thing for Ghostbusters. He's just addicted to Ghostbusters. He has a Ghostbusters backpack, a Ghostbusters hat, a Ghostbusters shirt, a Ghostbusters, like, he loves Ghostbusters.
And then he listens to the song.
He listens to the song, and then when he comes to New York, he wants to go to the firehouse and the library. So I thought, how can I make a tribute to the Ghostbusters? And I put together the song, the theme song from Ghostbusters, with the song Spooky. It's a 1960s song. And that was what I came up with that. And then Shermanigans. And then I had this awesome Skipper Dan. I'm sure you know it, the Weird Al Yankovic song. So I do a cover of that.
Yes, it's great.
Yeah. So again, all Disney, but I put that together right before I was a guest on the Magic, and really wanted it. And those were all songs that I put in the show.
What do you think it is about Disney music that resonates with people?
I think it's always, when the good Disney songs are storytelling songs, you know, especially this, you think about those Alan Menken songs, the Sherman Brothers songs. They're witty, they're melodic, they are optimistic. They always tug at some part of your heart and make you want to be a better person, make you want to help somebody. You know, I think that they speak to the better parts of us.
Well said. Well said.
Thanks.
Along those lines, I have to ask you, Bret, you said that you got to meet the Sherman Brothers during Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Any words of wisdom that they instilled upon you that you can share with us?
Oh, gosh. Do you remember? I saw Richard again a year ago last fall. I got to sing for him in California. He said it was so cool. And it was me and Susan Egan, the original Meg from
Belle.
And the original Belle. And he said a lot of wonderful, inspiring things. Yeah. I think the thing I will say about him that was super impressive was I hadn't seen him in 15 years or something like that. And he was like, Bret, oh my gosh, I remember you. It was so sweet.
And his wife
so
too.
Sweet. Everything he writes, those words he says, are really how he talks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not the gibberish, of course, but the stuff about teamwork, making a dream work, and the positive messages. I'm trying to think of a lyric. They're not coming to me. They're just not coming to me right now. He just really believes what he writes. And he and his brother, I think, if you've seen The Boys, the documentary, his brother wasn't around. But I really think Richard Sherman carries the message of what they wrote. And he loves to talk about how Walt was the person who believed in them when nobody else did. When Walt Disney would touch somebody, if he believed in you enough, anything could be possible. And I that's the thing I love about Walt Disney, is I think he always had a vision and was able to follow through in that vision no matter what other people thought or said or did. And he believed in the people that he brought into his life. He brought talented people in, and he believed in them and let them create at a high level. And that's what I think Tom Schumacher does too with Disney Theatrical. I think he is living that legacy in a very similar way.
I have the chills right now just thinking about what that must have been like to be so close to the Sherman Brothers and people who are so close to Walt Disney himself. That must have been absolutely magical.
Well, so that's another story. Can I tell you real quick?
Of course you can.
I went to visit a friend of mine who was doing a show in
just about to bring this up.
In San Francisco.
Good. I'm glad you're talking about it.
And of course, I had the whole Walt Disney Archives, the Walt Disney Treasures Archives collection of DVDs, and I've watched all of them numerous times. And so I knew about the Walt Disney Family Museum was being built, and it had opened at this point. And I was going to see my friend, and he's straight, and he's a baseball fan, and he's super macho. And funny enough, he's now been married at Disney World. But anyway, I was like, we got to go to the Walt Disney Family Museum. And he kind of rolled his eyes like, okay, fine. So I take him over to the museum, and on the way there, I'm all excited because that's how I get when anything Disney. And he's like, are you okay? I was like, I just am so excited. Like, what if Diane Disney is there? What if we see Diane Disney? And he's like, who's Diane Disney? I'm like, Walt's daughter. And he's like, why would she be there? I was like, well, she curated the whole museum. It's like her baby. And we walk in, and there's Diane Disney.
Oh my gosh.
And she's talking to somebody else. And I turn my back and I go, oh my God, there she is. And my friend is like, okay, so go talk to her. And I'm like, I can't go talk to her. What do I say? I can't just go over there and talk to her. And he's like, yes, you can. I mean, when else are you going to be here? When else are you going to be in this room with her? And I was like, you're right. Well, you're coming with me. And he's like, no, you can go. I was like, no, you're coming with me. So we go over there and I let her finish her conversation. My tendency is to want to be like, excuse me. And she finishes and I said, hi, I'm a huge fan of the work your father did. And I've been in several Disney on Broadway shows, and my friend Andrew is here doing a show at ACT. And I just want to, say hi. And she's just, oh my gosh, that's so wonderful. We talk about these people we know in common. And I was like, can we get a photo together? And she's like, sure. Actually, you know what? I know the best spot. And she takes me around the corner where there's a life-size cutout of Walt. And we frame him and take a photo together. And then she hugs me. We walk away. And Andrew's like, that was cool, huh? And I was like, I'm just trying not to cry.
What an incredible experience.
It was so cool. And then we went to the museum, which is, if you're in San Francisco, give yourself a good 4 or 5 hours. It's amazing.
I've heard. I really want to see that. It's on my Disney bucket list for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, guys, here's a question for you. What Disney film that hasn't yet been turned into a Broadway musical would you want to be a part of?
Oh. Steven?
I'm thinking.
For me, I want them to bring Pocahontas to the stage. I think that score is one of the best Stephen Schwartz scores ever. If they can historically fix the story, make it more accurate, I think it has everything you need in theater. It has politics, romance. It's got the history. It's also got sustainability in the message, which I think is relevant these days. And then you've got that, what I think is probably one of the best scores ever created by Alan Menken and Stephen Schwartz.
Good answer.
Well, my favorite Disney movie was Aladdin growing up, and they've already made it into a musical. And I forgot to mention at the beginning, too, that I was like so obsessed with it that I had the sheets and the comforter like all through middle school. And so as soon as it came out, I think we actually saw it in previews. Didn't we see it in previews? I think we saw it before it opened or right when it came out.
I wasn't there. I don't know.
Yes, you were.
Oh, the Broadway show.
Yeah, the Broadway show.
Movie. I was like,
no. No.
Yeah, we saw it in previews. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I think it's already done, and I just like to go and see it.
Just to clarify, you said you had the sheets and comforter, or you still have the sheets and comforter?
Do you think your mom might still have them?
My mom might still have them if they've made it. I think there's definitely photos like of my bedroom in middle school with those sheets and comforter. So I was obsessed.
I will say too, I am a pin collector. It's a little passé now, I understand, but I do have a very wide pin collection. And Steven does enable that.
I do.
Yeah.
It's addictive for sure.
It is. And here's the other thing. When Steve and I started dating, I had so much Disney stuff that he started restricting.
Yeah. When we moved in together,
he was like, you can only keep it in the kitchen. So he was trying to reduce it.
And then what happened?
I found other spots for it. It slowly moved out of the kitchen.
And we have friends of ours who, when we first got married, they bought us the silverware with like the Mickey Mouse on the handles of the forks and knives and things. So they kind of stuck to like the kitchen theme, but through the years, they have not.
Well, guys, we don't want to take up any more of your valuable time. We could talk to you all day. But before we let you go, we have a segment on our show called Quick D, where we ask you some Disney questions that you answer on the fly. Are you willing to participate?
Yeah. Should we alternate the answers or should we both answer?
I'll leave that up to you. You have to do it on the fly. It's Quick D, guys. Come on.
Okay.
Let's just do it both.
Let's see how it goes.
Here we go.
Okay.
We're going to do Quick D, the Broadway version.
Oh.
So entering the Thunderdome, 2 can enter, only 1 can leave. Beauty and the Beast or The Little Mermaid?
Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast, for sure.
Wow. That was quick. Follow-up question. Why do you hate The Little Mermaid so much?
I don't hate The Little Mermaid. I just
love Beauty and the
Beast.
Beast.
Doing Beauty and the Beast. I could have done that show for 15 years. I loved it.
Okay, guys, Next, entering the Thunderdome, 2 enter, only 1 can leave, and then Tina Turner sings Aladdin and the Lion King. Which one leaves the Thunderdome alive?
The Lion King.
You don't sound too sure about that one.
Yeah, The Lion King.
The Broadway version or the movie version?
No, the Broadway version. Ugh. I haven't seen the movie, but no.
Trick question. No one wants the movie version anymore. Well, thanks, guys, so much for being on the podcast. We really appreciate it. Where can folks find you on social media?
You can find us at Broadway Husbands on Instagram.
On YouTube.
And
BroadwayHusbands.com.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for sharing your time with us, and thanks for sharing your Disney fandom with us.
Thank you for spreading the joy of the D
Yes.
with the gays.
Hey, Patrick.
What up, Adam?
It's Quick D time.
Yas Queen.
It's time for us to get some D and make it quick.
Oh, my goodness. Is that our new theme song?
It was more of a rap, more of like a Hamilton-style rap.
Okay.
Do you think I could be in Hamilton?
I do not.
Yeah, I agree.
You don't know Hamilton.
I agree. I have no idea.
You are blasphemous about Hamilton quite frequently.
I just haven't heard it.
I will slap you.
I'm sure I'll fall in love with it the minute I hear it.
Well, if you don't, then I will slap you.
This week's Quick D segment is Quick D Imagine Queering.
That's right.
And for those of you that don't know, Imagine Queering is when Patrick and I draw an attraction randomly from Walt Disney World and we zhuzh it up. We make it gayer than gay.
We sure do.
And the result is usually a fabulous mess.
Mess is the highlighted word in that sentence.
Yeah.
So I've got my Chewbacca mug with all of the attractions listed out inside of him.
Yes, you do.
I'm going to reach into his head.
It's so weird.
It is weird. Adam, I'm just now noticing the handle is his bandolier.
That's right.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it is really cool.
I've never noticed that until just now.
Details.
If it's not about me, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, here, I'm reaching in. Can you hear it? Is that good Foley?
That's great, Foley.
Okay. Here we go.
Yep, okay.
We are Imagine Queering the Seven Dwarves Mine Train.
Wow.
Okay.
All right.
Let's get into it.
Would it be inappropriate to rename it the Seven Dwarfs Daisy Chain?
Oh my gosh.
Is that too much? Have I gone too far?
You've gone just far enough that I still respect you, but I'm losing faith in you.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, that's just the name. It doesn't need to indicate what the ride is about.
Well, here's what I think we're going to find out.
Yeah.
We're going to find out what really happens in that mine train when all 7 men who have not seen a woman or anyone else
Oh, yeah, that's true.
in years and years and years get together in a hole in the ground.
Okay.
So the jewels can stay, I think.
The jewels. I want more jewels.
Yeah.
More jewels, please.
More sparkly jewels.
Please, all of the
A
jewels.
geyser shooting jewels into your face.
In fact, I think it'd be great if one of the diamonds in the cave that threw him was actually like a disco ball with
I like
lights
it.
shining on it. It was spinning and creating I mean, this is really just a giant gay club, isn't
Yeah.
it? Called the Cave.
Called the cave.
Yeah.
The dwarf cave.
Or the manhole, maybe.
Oh, the dwarf hole.
The dwarf hole.
Uh-huh.
And that is where they go to work. W-E-R-K.
You better work.
Work.
Mm-hmm. I think at one moment, I believe Satine comes down on her swing.
Yes.
Diamonds.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's got to be one scene in the
Yeah.
in the ride.
Yeah, well, why not?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Is there a glory dwarf hole? It's so low to the ground.
It would be, yeah. I mean,
It's my size.
a glory hole for the dwarfs. And I have to believe that the options are so limited, Patrick. It's like you're going to the dwarf hole on a Friday night.
You are.
You're trying to score, but like every Friday night, it's the same 6 other dwarfs you've seen
I know.
the week before.
If I grab those same jewels once again, ugh, I'm bored of it. Maybe each of the rooms is themed after the name of that dwarf.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So there's the dopey room.
Sure.
Where you start there and just get doped up.
Okay. Oh.
right?
You took it to a drugs place?
Well,
Okay.
that's the dwarf hole.
It runs rampant in our culture. We need to fix it, people, but we're drawing attention to it by including it on this ride. We're creating awareness
It is.
in the community.
We're really establishing a political statement
We
here.
sure are.
If you've been following our conversation,
We sure are. This is important work we're doing.
Get your mind out of the gutters.
So I imagine after dope, you would be happy because
Yeah.
you've done the dope,
Yeah,
then you're
it's true.
like overjoyed.
That immediate high, that immediate happy place.
Yeah.
I like that.
This actually totally makes sense because when you think about like grumpy, sleepy, it's eventually going to work its way down to that.
Yeah. So after happy, maybe you get a little sneezy.
Sure.
Because you're putting some stuff up your nose. If you know what I mean.
Oh, this is great content. This is great content we're creating here.
Little nose candy. It's sneezy.
And by candy, you mean...
Pixie sticks.
That's right. Actual pixie sticks.
Actual pixie sticks.
We are not endorsing actual drug use here.
Never, ever, ever, ever.
Pixie sticks, the dip powder. What was the dip powder that people used to...
Fun dip.
Fun dip.
That was my nickname in high school.
Fun dip. Mm-hmm. I can see it. I can see it.
So after sneezy, do you get a little grumpy?
Probably.
Yeah.
So who have we I'm losing track. Dopey, happy, sneezy, grumpy,
Yeah. Sleepy.
sleepy.
And then you got to go to the hospital and see Doc.
I know. Was Bashful not a dwarf?
Oh, yeah. I forgot about Bashful.
Wait, so I know I'm counting. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's 7 dwarfs.
Maybe
Okay.
you start the ride as Bashful.
Sure, because you're just coming in and
You're a
everybody's like,
fresh twink off the streets. You've never been to a gay bar before.
and you walk in and it's like record scratch.
I'm bashful in my crop top and short shorts. Very bashful about it.
so unassuming.
Yeah, so
don't
then-
look at me.
So then you go and get doped up.
Yep, got it.
You get happy.
Yep.
Get a little sneezy.
Sure.
Then you get grumpy.
Yep.
You get the grumps.
Yep.
So you sleep it off.
But
And
then
go,
you're like, whoops, that wasn't sleeping. That was actually full on blacking out.
yeah, I've
Off.
been roofied.
Off to see Doc.
Off to see Doc.
Fantastic.
I like it.
Fantastic.
What a wonderful, wonderful ride.
What a microcosm for the gay culture we've created by Imagine Queering
Yeah.
the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
That's just a Tuesday night for me.
Now, where does Snow White fit into all this? She appears at the end in the house.
She does, because they're all dancing and celebrating with Snow White because they're coming home to food.
Oh, yeah. That's nice.
She's made them the gooseberry pies. Isn't that what she makes?
Does she?
I think so.
I prefer to think that Snow White has been off at a club of her own,
That's true. She was at the Snowball.
a prominent lesbian club in the fairy tale kingdom.
That's absolutely correct.
They're all just roommates for convenience, but it works out to be quite the fodder for a sitcom.
It sure is. They all have their own phone lines, so no one can call one and get the other one.
That's smart.
It really cuts down on confusion.
And then you got that hag knocking on the door, wanting to be part of the group.
I hate that term. Unless it is an actual witch.
Well, she is.
Okay, fair enough.
She's just knocking at that door.
She is
trying to
knocking at
get
that door.
into that group, but they're so close in it. You can't just break into that.
No, none of those 70s are for her. What?
Or Snow White.
Well, she wants to give Snow White her apple,
Oh,
if you know what I'm talking about. That sweet, juicy apple.
okay. Now I'm a little nauseated.
That will do it for this episode of Gays Do the D. Thanks for listening. To become a patron of the podcast, visit our website at gaysdothed.com/donate. For a donation of any amount, you can receive exclusive Gays Do the D content and help us continue to bring you the very best Disney news and discussion. Continue the conversation after this episode on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at GDTD Podcast. Submit your questions or show ideas to info@gaysdothed.com. Have a great week, everybody. See ya real soon.